It is unusual to find someone who is prepared to work 12 hours a day, 7 days a week, thousands of kilometers from home and family for months at a time. Anyone working this hard is usually building a career or receiving a large financial reward for the effort. It's extremely rare to meet someone who works at this pace solely for the benefit of other people in another country and at a considerable financial loss to themselves. Tim Kapsch spent a few days trying to keep up with this remarkable worker on a brief 10-day spell off work at home.
Friday, the 2nd of July, 1982. Landing at Tullamarine is flight number 981 from Thailand. On board is a unique woman who travels between Australia and Southeast Asia several times a year. These aren't the usual business trips. The money comes out of family savings at a substantial sacrifice. Her name is Adelia Bernard. In 1944, Adelia fled her native Italy as a refugee from the Second World War. Those memories never left her, especially the help and kindness of friends in her new land. And now, 30 years later, she herself is working to relieve the hardship of refugees from Laos, Thailand and Cambodia by raising funds and personally administering relief. Adelia has spent the last 102 days in Kampuchea. Adelia, was it a successful trip this time?
Yes, it was successful, or a bit tiring, but successful financially and morally. In a lot of support in Germany, in France and Italy.
What did you achieve?
Well, financial support, which is all important for rice buying, and moral support in assistance, organizations. I have offered to come down and help too.
You must be very tired.
I am.
Hello, this isn't real.
Norman Bernard, her husband, was here at the airport 3.5 months ago when Adelia left.
That's a record. Listen, Collingwood aren't in the form.
In the last 2 years, they have shared many departures and arrivals.
Well, listen, how are things over? How are things over there?
Okay, then, you know, it's bad as usual.
What about Mother Teresa? How was the meeting with her?
That was fantastic.
That was good, was it?
She gave me the collection from in Kempen.
Oh, great.
And she's sending her nuns.
What about things on the border of Thailand there?
Well, the people from the village that was hit are going back, are back in Soksana. We bought enough hammocks because we couldn't build the huts quickly. There were 8,000.
Is this new agreement with the three parties signing made any difference at all to the people? Is there attitude to them?
You just have to wait and see.
I mean, blow that. Yeah, great.
Wait till you hear the bad news.
Oh, what's the bad news?
I have to go back in 10 days.
Oh, you're joking. You're joking. Oh, you're joking. That is a joke, isn't it?
No.
Adelia left Australia in March this year, and since then, she has been working full-time in Kampuchea.
10 days? Why?
Much of her work involves the buying of food and medical supplies, and making sure they get to the people living in makeshift camps. The funds for all her expenses come from the sale of a holiday house, as well as family savings. Her work is recognised around the world, and she has had first-hand contact with all 3 national factions in Kampuchea. In July this year, Prince Norodom Sihanouk, former Prime Minister Son Sann, and the Khmer Rouge forces have united to counter the common enemy, the invading Vietnamese army. But even this pact will not necessarily relieve the suffering of the Kampuchean people. Since 1975, an estimated 2 million Kampucheans have died from war and starvation. Part of Adelia's current visit has involved the gathering of evidence of the use of chemical warfare, commonly known as yellow rain. Till now, the use of this hideous weapon has been disputed, as tangible first-hand evidence was not available. Adelia has gathered carrier shells and medical reports, all of which she has documented for use by the Australian government at the level of the United Nations. Her work in Southeast Asia requires the mutual skills of ambassador, administrator, investigator, and relief worker. She plans to return there in 10 days' time to complete the establishment of a field hospital to serve most of the major refugee camps. This is the Melbourne suburb of Newport, 8 a.m, Saturday the 3rd of July, 1982. Kao Men Hian and his bridal party are on their way to Adelia's house to marry one of her daughters, Sok Eng Tina. Hian has over 100 relatives and friends here today. Tina has 200 more waiting at home. And with only a few unavoidable concessions, it will be a traditional Cambodian ceremony. The groom brings gifts of clothing and food and formally seeks the permission of the bride's mother.
And you'll be very happy.
Adelia and Norman are used to crowds in their home. They have 9 children, 3 through their marriage and another 6 they adopted. Adelia and Norman adopted them last year from a refugee camp in Kampuchea and brought them to Australia. At daughter Nicolette's wedding last year, the family formed an impressive wedding party. It's all a long way from the Western District farm she and Norman operated when they were first married 30 years ago. Only the immediate family can directly take part in the wedding ceremony. This is the bride, Tina. The HRL monk is himself a refugee who, separated from his homeland and his temple, no longer wears traditional costume. He invites all married couples in the wedding party to form a circle of love and unity, with the flame of the candles representing the spirit of all the ancestors whose long line of marriages have led to this union today. The food, the flowers and the water are all the riches that the earth offers those who open their hearts to the world around them. The silver threads represent the bond between man and woman, much as the rings exchanged in similar ceremonies. The couple will wear these threads for the next week. It is this love which seems to sustain Adelia. Her simple, self-effacing description of her work belies her deep commitment to the people of Southeast Asia.
I went to offer help when the refugees first came into Thailand. And from then on, seeing their need and their suffering, I was hooked.
But why you, of a million people in the world?
I guess it's God's will. He chooses certain people to do certain work.
Now, it's a tremendous pace. How do you keep it up?
I don't know. I get strength, love, and will. I guess determine the commitment. And when you love a person or a people and you see how much they need your assistance and your help, then the energy comes.
Why particularly the people from this region, though? How have you become associated with them?
Because of their suffering, and also because strategically, I think geographically, these people are our neighbors. They live in Australia's backyard. And I think our nation's commitment should be to them before anywhere else. We all know about the problems of the world, but charity begins at home and with your neighbors.
Now, you're going back again. What are you particularly looking at this next visit?
Well, we've received funding from overseas, again in Germany. Mother Teresa is coming, sending her representative in 10 days, assistance in the area. I've been lucky enough that I've been able to spread the word throughout the world, and there are organizations and people now who are coming around helping more and more. So we are organizing new programs and assistance, new villages. We have received commitment for money to build 10 new villages. And in that, you know, we'll be able to, and there's an education program being started now. A whole lot of new things are happening. And of course, today is particularly a momentous day. And it's very good that Tina and Hian are married today, because the proclamation of the new nation is taking place today in Cambodia, on Cambodian territory. As you know, Prince Sihanouk is the new president. Mr. Son Sann is the prime minister. And we are very, very happy. And it's particularly good luck. They are man and wife today, officially bound by their love. And we ask the blessing of all the ancestors present here to visit them all their lives and bless them with happiness, health, prosperity, and children.
Amen. Amen.
The dedicated work of Melbourne's Adelia Bernard.